Holly, I'm so glad you're here finally.
I am thrilled to be here. Moss Mountain is amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, we've had quite a harvest here from our little ride around the
Yeah,
farm.
we did pretty good. I'm excited to get started with all of these greens.
Well, you think you've got something here you can use?
There's kind of enough.
Well, you know, there's always more where this came from.
I wouldn't mind hitting the forest again.
Well, we've got plenty of our native cedar here and lots of pine, which grows all over the farm.
And then this beautiful magnolia.
Yeah, that one's a really good one. We love that one. That's Bracken's Brown Beauty. It has that gorgeous sort of velvet underside of the leaf.
It's lovely.
I think you're going to love it. Yeah.
That's going to be amazing. We should do this on the stairs, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be great. The underside of the leaf is just as beautiful as the glossy
lovely.
top, don't you think?
Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
All right, well, why don't we get this unloaded and get in the house where it's a little warmer, maybe have a little cocoa.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, all right. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Gilbert H. Wild & Son, who've been growing beautiful perennials since 1885. Ralston Family Farms, a farm family producing delicious rice for your table. First Community Bank, whose heart is in the community, as well as Sun Patience, Super Cal Petunias, and Dragon's Breath Celosia. And Crystal Bridges, Museum of American Art. Check out my website to learn more about the brands we love.
My name is Holly Heider Chapple, and I'm a floral designer from Leesburg, Virginia. I also mentor and teach floral design across the world, and we own a farm called Hope Flower Farm. I started in floral design because my father was a landscaper and he had a garden center, and Daddy taught me how to make garlands, centerpieces, kissing balls, wreaths. I learned how to design at Christmas. My design style is typically loose and airy and organic. I love to harvest from the garden. We grow as well. That is my preference, but because I am a seasoned designer, I'm capable of doing all types of design. I love everything about it. I think it's an addiction and a passion that is just, once it gets inside of you, you just can't shake it. I'm very excited about designing for Alan because I feel like our design styles are really going to mesh, and I sense that everything is connected here, that everything is very thought out. One building leads to the next and everything has a purpose, and I feel like that's the way that I design. The 3 tips that I love the most, I think, is the answer is always in the garden. I really believe that when we're in the midst of a design and it's not coming together and it's not as inspired as I'd like for it to be, that the answer is in the garden. The quality product that we use is essential. It has to be fresh and it has to be of the finest quality. And I think the 3rd thing would be color. I am known for color, and so experimenting and playing with color is really what sets your work apart.
So how do you think the Silkies like their new wreath?
I think it's pretty spectacular.
What do you think there, Joe? This is Joe and Esmeralda.
They're so beautiful.
Aren't they great?
This is great. And everything we did for them was natural and from the farm.
And edible for
And
them.
edible.
Like sunflowers and the milo, there's so much, everything in here virtually they can eat. Of course, these pine cones, I love the way that you suggested using the branches across it.
I love it. It makes a beautiful armature and a way for us to attach all of the wheat and greenery. It's gorgeous. I think it's perfect for them, and I think they like it.
Did you ever think you'd do a wreath for a Parthenon?
No, I didn't. I never thought I would be in Little Rock with you and holding a chicken and just after decorating this gorgeous holiday wreath.
How wonderful.
It's beautiful.
I think the thing that surprises visitors that come to the farm is that when I talk about how we use an artificial frame and then we just apply the natural elements to it, and it's a great form. They're very affordable, and you can attach anything you want to it.
It really actually holds the structure and the shape so beautifully too. So, and it's fabulous to have wreaths and decorate them and put them anywhere on your farm, or I guess at your, if you don't have a farm, at your home as well. So the wreath is just a beautiful symbol, and it's perfect this time of year.
I think this wreath demonstrates that you can use just about anything you want to make a beautiful wreath. Anything that'll work within whatever theme, whether it's color or some other idea, all kinds of things will work. I mean, we use grapevine, of course, holly's traditional,
right.
And then some of the old favorites like Nandina, for instance. We don't really use that anymore because it's actually poisonous to songbirds, at least the berries are.
Yes, you were telling me about that, and Nandina is one of my favorites to use.
I know, I love using it as well.
So now that I know that about the berries, I'm going to make sure that I harvest them all in the spring before they actually come into fruition, and hopefully we won't have any of the berries on the property.
If you're like me, you love to plant things that attract pollinators and even birds into your garden. But there's some plants that actually, although they may be attractive to us, particularly during the holiday season, aren't the best for the birds. For instance, this Nandina. Now here at Moss Mountain Farm, which goes back to 1840, there are a lot of plants that were planted long before we came here, and the Nandina is one of them. It's considered an invasive species, just like privet hedge. You've probably seen it with the purple berries on it. And what we're trying to do is consolidate all the Nandina on this farm into one place. And so this winter we're going to be moving the plants. What you'll find is that the Nandina berry is actually poisonous to songbirds. For instance, cedar waxwings, which will gorge themselves on berries in late winter and early spring, can eat so many of these that it can actually kill them. So what I like to do is to cut the berries in the winter before the holidays and use them in decorations so there's no chance that the birds can eat them. We've picked them early enough that there's plenty of other food in the forest for them to eat because they tend to go for the things they prefer. Apparently these Nandina berries don't taste all that great, and it's probably a secondary or tertiary food for them, but I like to get rid of them just the same. Nandina is also called heavenly bamboo, and it comes from China and India and the Far East, and it's prone to spread aggressively. And it's been a southern staple. You can find it growing in the south from zone 7 south all the way to zone 10. And it does make a beautiful display, particularly when you pick the berries like this and cluster them. There's nothing brighter or more beautiful in a holiday centerpiece or a wreath than these gorgeous berries. But do remember, they are not the best for songbirds. Hey Holly, I found some more of the reindeer lichen.
Oh, thanks.
This is looking amazing.
Do you like it?
I'm loving it. The colors are fantastic.
I love all the natural tones, and I'm so grateful that you found this for me. It's wonderful. So
Well, it grows here on the farm, yeah.
From the farm. It's incredible.
Well, you know, it really matches the underside of the Elaeagnus leaves.
And it's
silver.
Also, this tone is in the ribbon too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's all
just
very
beautiful.
lovely.
You know, when you started this, I was amazed by how you actually created an armature for all of this to sort of hang from, rather than using conventional foam.
There's a big switch in the world today to try and be, you know, more thoughtful to the environment, greener, and the foam doesn't break down. And with the evergreens, it's the best of all mediums to practice this type of mechanic because they do hold so well. So there is absolutely no foam. This is a foam-free design, which it makes me really happy to be able to produce things like this.
Yeah, well, it's just gorgeous.
So underneath is a 2x6. We chicken wired over the board, zip tied the chicken wire on, and then we're able to build these large installations. And because of the weight of the board, it doesn't tip over.
There's no opportunity for it to topple.
That's right. A one-sided design wants to flip over. So this is a great way to design in your home for a mantelpiece or over a doorway, as long as you have. Another place is fun is a recess over a door. It's just wonderful to do this type of armature.
I love how you've integrated our swans in here as well.
I think they look beautiful with the portrait.
You know, this serves as such a great focal point for the entry hall.
It is. It's wonderful. And this is where you'll be welcoming your guests, and I wanted to give them a spectacular design to see when they first arrived at the farm.
It's beautiful. When you come in the house, you want it to be sensory overload. So the fragrance of all these greens and seeing all this beautiful
I mean, it's like
greenery.
a 5 or 6 foot long piece. It ought to maybe wow a few people. I hope so.
I think it will. I think it will. We're literally decking the halls.
We have, haven't we? It's gorgeous. So when we were creating the piece, I was careful to keep the greens away from the sconces. I love them. I thought they were so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And the stars, everything about them, it just felt kind of holiday, and the gold also. It's perfect for this time of year.
Well, they frame the swan picture that's after Audubon, and there's really no reason to add any greenery to it when you've got this centerpiece that you've created here. So it really frames, they frame it nicely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to consider when designing Moss Mountain were the ceilings. Our ceilings are 12 foot tall in this room. So we're going to do a hanging installation, and Alan has these gorgeous chandeliers, and I'm going to use those as the armature. So when I start designing an installation like this, I'm going to look for a branch that has a lot of movement, that's very flexible. So this is Ellie Agnes. I'm just going to twist it around the chandelier, and then I'll use some bind wire to attach it, but you see that's holding it in place. Next, I'm going to start with Carolina Sapphire, which is my absolute favorite green to use during the holidays. I love its blue-gray foliage and the movement, and again, it'll be very easy to install because of its long bending branches. And I'll use just a little bit of this bind wire, which is covered in raffia so it doesn't scratch. Next, I'm going to prep the amaryllis. I'm going to be hanging them on the chandelier. So a really fun thing to do is prep these with cotton balls. I'll actually shove cotton into the stem, which allows it to continue drinking. And you can even come behind this and water the amaryllis. You can actually fill this up with water, and then we're going to be hanging them onto the chandelier. Now, one of the tricks to make this work, because this stem is succulent and it will actually crack if I tie wire around it, one of the tricks is to use this wax tape. It's called corsage tape. And I'm going to go around creating sort of like a band-aid or a place for me to attach the wire. And this will mean that the wire cannot slit the stem, and that'll give me a resource for hanging the amaryllis.
Wow, this is looking great, Holly.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, it looks really festive.
I thought it'd be great to give Trudy a beautiful carriage.
That is so thoughtful. She'll love it. I just know.
Gorgeous greens. Look, I have a really amazing surprise for you, so I'd like to take you.
A surprise for me?
For you.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to take you off on a little ride with Miss Trudy. Is that possible?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
sure.
I can't wait. Thanks.
Okay. Oh my goodness, Holly.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's amazing. It's so abundant.
We had so much fun making this for you, and we're hoping you love it.
I do love it. So this is where you've been.
This is what we've been doing.
I was looking around for you a couple of times and they said, oh, you were out gathering things. Well, you were doing more than just gathering a few things.
Everything is from your property.
Oh my gosh, it's
so
really
it's just
beautiful.
a beautiful, large installation and appropriate for the scale of
this
the
is
garden.
the first time we've ever done anything for Christmas
I'm so
around.
glad. I'm so happy
this
that
is
we got
wonderful.
To do this.
And hey, in the octagon, I can see our statue, the goddess Flora. It looks like you've given her a little decor.
You wait until you see. She's
Oh,
absolutely
my gosh.
beautiful.
How wonderful. Let's go take a look.
Okay.
I can't wait. Wow, look at all the textures in here.
Do you love it?
I really do.
I think it's really
so
gorgeous.
fun.
So the grapevine came from the farm.
Yep.
This was one of the only things we didn't harvest. We found a box of these
Oh,
on the property, but everything else we went out and harvested, and it's
my
amazing.
gosh, look
There's
at this.
cedar and pine and holly and holly. Of course, I had to put some of that in there.
There you go, a signature plant. And the magnolia, use the
magnolia.
Bracken's Brown Beauty, which I love. That it just looks fantastic.
I love it. I think it's stunning.
Help me understand how you attached all this, because I know a lot of our friends at home will probably want to do something, maybe not this large, but the mechanics of this are fascinating.
I always say a design needs a spine. A lot of times for the pieces that we're doing, we need an iron base plate or something. This iron gate was the best armature in the world. And it's chicken wire, just scrunched up.
Right.
And it creates like layers so that when you're poking in the greenery, it gets caught up in the chicken wire and stays. It gets woven, and you kind of just want to push it through several layers. And zip ties are essential. The zip ties are holding the chicken wire to the iron, so that's how we were able to do it.
Chicken wire, my gosh.
If I didn't have those two items, I wouldn't have been able to do this. So.
Well, it's really wonderful.
I love it.
What a way to celebrate the season. And as I mentioned, this is its first time. It's the maiden voyage.
I'm very glad I got to be the first to design it.
Well, it's just
it was a
spectacular.
fabulous, exciting opportunity.
And it feels like the place. That's what I love about it.
Well, that's the way I tend to design. I really do like things that are very natural
it's one of
and
the things
inspired.
I'm really drawn to with regard to your work.
Well, good, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could bring it to Moss Mountain.
It's fabulous. And let's talk about the octagon.
Okay.
I love the wreaths on the outside. They just look fantastic.
I think it's beautiful. It brings the greenery out.
And look at what you've done with Flora.
Isn't she
Look
amazing?
at those roses up there.
Those are the last from your garden.
The last of the season. There they are.
And perfect red and white.
Beautiful. That's right.
And a little garland to adorn her as well.
Yeah,
But I thought she needed a little holiday touch.
She's got it.
She's beautiful.
job.
Thank you.
That Eliacnus comes in handy, doesn't
It sure does. It's wonderful for everything. Garland making, wreath making, crown making.
It's
and
so
then
flexible.
It's wonderful.
And I love the silvery backside of the leaves.
Yeah, it's
really
one of my
good.
favorite foliages.
Great job. This
Thank
is
you.
wonderful.
I'm so glad you like it.
I do.
I'm really glad you're happy. It's
I
awesome.
am. Trudy's loving those treats.
She sure is.
Holly, thank you so much for coming to the farm.
Thank you. I've had a wonderful time.
You really brought the holiday spirit here with all your creativity.
It's been amazing.
Well, I hope you'll come back soon.
I'll be back.
Wonderful. All right, happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Trudy, what do you think, girl? Want another apple? All right.
Ho, ho, ho!
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to ring the bell for notifications.